Hello and welcome to another episode of Trailblazers Rising. I'm so excited to bring you my guest today. I have been following her on social media, TikTok and Instagram to be specific, for a while now, and we are mutual, so haha, we're friends. You're not, but you can be, don't you worry. And she is a wonder in the world of, holistic and functional approaches and medicine. And I won't butcher what it is that she does, but everybody say hi to Kelly Rompel. Kelly, say hi to everybody, the rebel white coat herself.
Hello. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. So I'm going to ask you the first question that I ask every single guest on this show, and that is, what sparked your entrepreneurial fire? Was there like a moment in time where you said, I can't do this anymore, I got to do my own thing?
Yeah, I cannot stand sitting still behind a desk with all the rules. I can't. Plus, I just felt so unfulfilled behind a pharmacy counter. And it didn't fulfill me. I couldn't do it anymore. And I needed out. So having my own business has brought me the freedom that I've wanted for so long.
The freedom. It is so real. Literally, I now understand why we gravitate towards other neurospices, whether we are diagnosed or not, because we have that similar desire of, I'm driven from inside and I will ask questions if I don't know the answer to the thing that I'm going after. But please don't tell me what I need to go after and what I'm supposed to do. If I hear one more person say, well, you should have, you're supposed to, it's like, if you're not in my brain, you don't get to tell me those things.
Amen. Agreed.
Amen, sister. So one of the biggest challenges that I face, my clients face, and all of the members of the Neurospicy Academy face, as ADHDers especially, is striking that balance between the creative side of entrepreneurship and the strategic side, i.e. the boring shit. It's a real juggling act. Do you have tips or tricks for how you balance those and find the harmony in it?
Oh, man. Yeah. So for me, what's worked really well is pairing the boring stuff with the fun stuff I like to do, and also rewarding myself for getting the boring tasks done. When I have to sit down and do the things I don't want to do, I remind myself, just get through this little thing, this one task, just get through it. And then you can go outside and have a nice walk, or you can go do this, or you can go have a pedicure, or whatever it is. I like to reward myself for doing the things like a kid. I reward myself for doing the things that I don't want to do. Also, when you get to a part in your business where you can delegate, that's magical. So for me, it's been really great. I hired somebody that has been a godsend for my business a few months ago. And that delegation and that unloading of some of the things that I don't like to do has been amazing for me.
I'm so glad that you said that. I literally just got done making a piece of content for my social media about there's a difference between growing your business and scaling your business. And so often I hear people using those terms interchangeably. And while it is my belief and the belief of the Neurospicy Academy that we should build businesses that can scale, right? So from day one, you want to make sure you have, SOPs in place so that when it comes time to, really expand and scale your reach, everything's ready to go. But growing your business is different, right? So starting to build that team, that is growth. That is your ability to now do more things that you like to do. I like to envision, what does millionaire Melanie do? She does not spend time cleaning toilets. She does not spend time loading and unloading the dishwasher. She does not spend time with people that do not make her super duper happy. And she's not easily booked. Like my schedule is paramount. And if you ever say, hey, do you want to come do this? The first thing you're going to hear me say is, let me check my calendar. So when it comes to having an assistant, virtual executive, it doesn't matter who they are. What are some of your favorite things to delegate? And were there any unforeseen challenges in getting an assistant? Because I know a lot of my clients go, wait, what? They need me to tell them how to do all this. It's like, yeah, it's your business. You got to tell them how to do it the way you want them to do it.
Yeah. So I think one of the best parts about having somebody on my team now is it forces me to get organized. Back when
Yeah.
it was just me, I would just get through all the tasks in my own way, no organization, and so now that I've got somebody on my team, it forces organization. Otherwise, the wheels are going
Yeah.
to fall off. So that's one of my favorite parts about having somebody. And she actually helps me create a lot of these things that we need to stay organized, in Google Docs and all this stuff I don't want to do. Like that's just not my area of expertise. So I love that I have her to help me with that. But what I love the most about the person that I hired, and I have been through a few people in order to find this amazing soul, but I guess I want to put it out there that we shouldn't settle, and we can find somebody who fits
Yes.
us, our business perfectly. So right now I actually have a dietitian who's working on my team, but she also helps me with the social media side of things that I don't necessarily love. Like I can create the content, but I don't like to sit there and multi-purpose it and put it on all these platforms. And I don't like to be back in the, in Google Docs organizing everything. So she has been amazing as far as not only serving our clients, but also helping me on the back end. So I'm super grateful for her.
That's so good. I think about so the whole reason that there are unpaid interns out in the world is because all the super duper rich people got together and said, "Hey, my 18-year-old doesn't need money because the trust fund, but they do need work experience. Can you have them come work for you for free?" Hence the intern, right? So what I think about when it comes to as an entrepreneur, we charge hundreds of dollars an hour for our services as coaches or whatever it is you do. Why would somebody want to work for me and do the grunt work for 20 or $30 an hour or whatever you pay the person? And I remind myself that everybody's got to start somewhere. Everyone benefits tremendously from a mentor. And like you said, finding the people that are aligned, right? That aren't going to hate the job that they have to go to working for you, but are going to be like, I'm so excited to go work for this person and learn all this is so.
Can see you now. Totally fine. Okay. Yeah. For me, what's worked the best is creating a calendar where I do certain things on certain days. And it took me a while. Okay. What's worked best for me is creating a calendar where I do certain things on certain days. So I have one day where I see all my clients. I have one day where I create content. I have another day where I do podcasting. And so and even working in days of time off. There's gotta be blocks of time off, and I've learned that the hard way. We've talked about that, Melanie. But it's really important for me to that's how I stay organized, is I have certain days for certain things. And so for me, that's why time management why I've been able to manage my time a little bit better here recently. Right. Right. Well, and for me, the charger is sunshine and nature. So I know that if I'm gonna have a big day, a packed day, I know that in the middle of that day somewhere, I gotta take a walk. I gotta get out. And luckily the weather has gotten better recently to where I can do that. But that's been really, really helpful for me, is making sure I do take that break in the middle of the day. And I can always come back to a task, but I need a little sunshine. Yeah. I know by the time my kids get home from school, it's pretty much over. Yeah, 8, 6, and 4. So it's wild around here after school. And speaking of, we're heading into summer. So I've had to really wrap my mind around the fact that I'm just gonna have to be okay with a new schedule here in about a week. And things are gonna have to slow down in my business, and that's okay. But I want to enjoy my kids this summer. And I had a lot of fear around that a few months ago, like, gosh, how am I going to deal this summer with having 3 little ones at home and trying to run a business and still keep my sanity? And I just had to finally wrap my mind around the fact that it's okay that my business is going to have to slow down for a couple months. There's nothing wrong with that. I only have so many summers with these kiddos. Yeah, I do need some. I'm glad you mentioned that. Right. Oh, nice. So it gives me so much hope. I'm so glad you said that, because this is really like my first summer with them home. Up until this point, they've done the camp thing, or I had to get them daycare or something, right? And so this summer, And that's one of the reasons I think I was so on edge about it because it's a little bit of the unknown of like, how's it going to be? But I've decided to change the narrative and quit being fearful about how is it going to be and just decide to freaking enjoy. Oh, I need to look into Right. They do. And they actually are very aware for even for their ages. They know if my office door is shut, they are pretty good with boundaries. I've taught them that over the past couple years as far as like mom's got to work and my kids, God love them, they have to know why. They need to know all the details. So I have to explain to them, you have to let me work so I can make the money so we can like go get the ice cream and do the fun activities and do the vacations and stuff like that. You have to let me win. So explain it like that, they understand and they give me a little bit more space. So, yes, I'm lucky as far as that goes, but that took some time to teach. Really? Right. Right. Sounds beautiful. Yeah. Just leave it at constant chaos. But yeah, never boring, never boring. I always kind of thought like the people with the 4 kids, because they always say like, the two they can pair up and play together. And with 3, they get a little jealous. Like I have 2 girls and a boy. And so there's a lot of like, the boy's the youngest. So there's a lot of like, he wants to play with me, not you, and that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh gosh, jealous. Yep. Oh, oh, a recent win. Gosh, I've had a lot of recent wins with clients and great success. So that's one thing. And I always expect that, right? And so I work really hard towards that. So that's really important for me. But I would say a different win besides client wins would definitely be hiring like the perfect fit for my business. That's my biggest win right now that I'm focusing on because I'm super grateful. You know what's funny about hiring her? We were actually friends on TikTok before I hired her. It was really cool. I put a post out saying, "I'm hiring," and she applied right away, and I knew immediately who she was, and I was like, she applied. I'm like, "We're friends on TikTok. Oh my gosh." And it just ended up being a really perfect fit since we knew each other's content already. So I just yeah, that's my biggest win so far. Right. Yeah. So I like to do genetic testing and advanced functional labs for my clients to help them get to an underlying root cause of what's contributing to their symptoms. So, kind of a walking contradiction being a pharmacist turned a functional medicine consultant who helps people avoid meds if that's their choice. So, we've taken a natural approach and by getting to root cause. And so I do, like I said, combination of different tests. And when someone works with me, we do a lot of different tests and we're really getting to underlying root causes that are like nervous system dysregulation, gut health issues, like you said, hormone imbalances, toxicities like heavy metal toxicities, vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and also genetics, because that's important to know if genetics play a role in the symptoms that we're experiencing. So I work mainly with ADHD, anxiety, but along with that always comes hormone imbalances, cortisol dysregulation, a nervous system dysregulation, gut health issues, because it all goes hand in hand. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So when I work with somebody, I always, like I said, like to do genetic testing to look further into MTHFR, but really even bigger than MTHFR, I look at methylation in general. So MTHFR is, it's kind of trending right now and it's getting a lot of attention. But what I want to remind people is it's only one gene in all of methylation. So I would like people to focus less on just MTHFR and more on methylation in general. And there's many genes that go into that. So MTHFR really kicks off the methylation cycle. And you're right, we need to support that gene with B vitamins. That's super, super important. But also, methylation plays a huge role in inflammation, detoxification, hormone balance, neurotransmitter production and balance. So it's a big deal. And so for a lot of my clients, I do see less ideal MTHFR genes, but that's another reason I also run labs because I've seen plenty of clients with suboptimal MTHFR genes, yet their methylation is fabulous on the labs. And then I've seen people with optimal MTHFR and their methylation sucks. And it's because those genetics are not being supported. So I honestly don't care what genetics you have. I do. I don't mean to say it like that, but I care more about how we're supporting the genes than anything else. But it is a big deal for many areas. So super important that we're making sure that we're supporting detoxification and living a low toxin lifestyle. If we're somebody who's got suboptimal MTHFR genes, that's a really big deal. And also, I see candida and yeast overgrowth in so many of my clients, and that actually slows methylation even further. So when you slow it even further, you're going to have more issues with neurotransmitter production imbalance. So dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, GABA, all these things that keep us focused, calm, happy, they rely on methylation as well as many other things. But it's so important that we do know what our genetics are so we can support them accordingly. In your home. We can't do a whole lot about the grossness of our environment, but clean water. I personally love reverse osmosis with hydrogen, attachment to that to put hydrogen into the water. No candles, no perfumes, air purifier, dusting, vacuuming often. Dust is one of the worst toxins out there for in our home. Letting the fresh air in when we can. I've got the windows open right now. It's that beautiful time of year where we can do that. But even looking at how toxic your makeup is, and I don't want people to think that they have to overhaul their life all at once. It's been a slow progress for me too, as far as implementing lower toxin things into my life. So when I was done with my detergent, I switched to a cleaner one like Molly Suds. I really like that one. And when I was done with my makeup, I switched to other makeup brands like Ilia, 100% pure. Just some really great brands. Merit. These are all cleaner brands. I don't use dryer sheets anymore. I like to use dryer balls with essential oil, if anything at all, if it even needs it. And yeah, just things like that. Just looking around your house and saying, what can I get rid of? That's a scent. Just like you said, scented things are one of the plastics. That's another thing. Not storing food in plastics, getting rid of all the plastic, switch to glass. You guys, I run labs on my clients. I can't tell you how plastic overloaded people are. It's so sad. And it's causing so much oxidative damage, which makes our symptoms worse. So just looking around the house and starting there. But I have to add to that, but also supporting your body's ability to detoxify. So I think we need to talk about ways to help support our bodies because when I run genetics on a lot of my clients, lo and behold, not surprising that a lot of us have a lowered capability to detoxify. And so, meaning that we're going to be more likely to hold on to heavy metals and environmental toxins and plastics and things like that. And so, sorry, ADHD brain. I have to tell you, there's a study that was done, and just as an example, there's a study that was done that showed that brand new babies, right when they're born, they already have almost 300 chemicals in the umbilical cord. It's wild. So when people tell me toxin overload's not a thing and we have a liver and kidneys for a reason, I'm like, you don't understand. We're all born with so many toxins and chemicals already. And then we want to add on the vaccines and all the environmental stuff. It accumulates over time. And like I said, genetics play a role here. So really helping to support our body and helping to detoxify. So ways that we can do that, making sure always that we have lots of antioxidants. So that comes in the form of fruits, vegetables, bright color food, right? And real food. I love taking liposomal glutathione every single day. That's really supportive to us. Yeah. Well, it's a lot more fancy. I kinda like it. So, yes, I keep mine. It's right here, right like an arm's distance on my desk. I take it every single day. I love it. But also, I have a sauna. I invested in a sauna this past year, and that's amazing for detoxification because sweating is so good for us. But also Epsom salt bath, and you can do Epsom salt bath and throw some bentonite clay in there. That's a great way to detoxify. Or wild blueberries in your smoothie, or chlorella in your smoothie as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can promote detox, but it's really important. And I think this is one of the biggest issues because it's causing so much cell damage and oxidative stress. And people don't realize that's directly connected to mental health disorders. Yes, 100% agree with that. And you'll find, I don't know if this is true for you, but it was for me. When I stopped using deodorant, I had a less of a need for deodorant. But then also I was doing other things in my lifestyle too, like, smoothies and, Epsom salt baths and saunas and things to help get rid of these toxins. But when you're not as toxin overloaded, you don't have a problem with the smell as much. Yep. Right. Right. Yeah. Let it breathe. Yep. I know, and I think that people forget how overworked, or they don't know. They don't know how overworked our liver is. You gotta think about our world, how it's so toxin overloaded. You guys, we can't step outside without breathing in everything they're spraying in the air and eating the process. I mean, unless you are never outside, you live inside and eat nothing but organic fruits and vegetables, and you don't use any products whatsoever, and good for you, but, like, that's not realistic, and we live in a toxic world with a lot of nasty shit. And so we've got to support our liver most definitely because over time it can get sluggish. And the liver has so many roles. It plays so many roles, you guys, between detoxification to hormone balance and cholesterol. And it just has a lot of jobs. And so as much support as you can give it, you know, the better. It's really important. Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, and I agree. I love that you mentioned the protein. And right, and sleep is huge for us. But going back to the protein, especially in the morning, I have found to be so helpful for not only myself, but for a lot of my clients. And we can do this in a very simple way, like a really amazing protein smoothie first thing in the morning. For me, I like to do a scoop of protein powder, some Greek yogurt for some more protein, some almond butter, half of an avocado, some fruit, chia seeds. Like it's balanced and it is nice and chock full of healthy fats and carbs and protein. And hell yes, that is how I get my day started most mornings. And I've even seen with my kids, one in particular was struggling and school was focused for a hot minute there. And it crushed my soul because, this is what I do is help people with focus. And once I switched her breakfast to a very high protein breakfast, that made a world of difference. So we all know protein's important, but for us ADHDers, we really need to get a lot of protein first thing in the morning to help us with our, dopamine production throughout the day. Absolutely. Mhm. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agreed, and I love that you touched on the ups and downs, and what you're referring to, right, is the ups and downs of blood sugar, and I see dysregulated blood sugar in so many of my clients, and it's those ups and downs that then often lead to, our mood swings and our difficulty with focus, but then also over time, those drastic ups and downs, I mean, that can lead to insulin resistance as well. So it's really important that we keep those sugars stable. And one of the easiest ways to do that is making sure you are getting lots of fiber, protein, and healthy fats. And with each meal, you can have the Oreos. No one's telling you can't. It's just that like maybe you could like grab a handful of carrots first and then have an Oreo, right? Give it a little bit of something so that blood sugar doesn't like surge sky high. So that's one of my trips. What am I saying? Tricks and tips. Holy shit. Yeah, we need I know. We need to actually. No, yes, yeah. And this is why we take a personalized approach. Everyone is so different. Truthfully. I mean, we have a lot of the same I see a lot of the same things with clients, right? A lot of like we talked about gut issues, nervous system dysregulation, hormone issues, a lot of heavy metal toxicity. I see a lot of the same things, but as far as the approach that you take, it can really vary per person based off what do we need to tackle first, right? And so, yes, it takes a personalized approach, but yeah, dealing with constipation is really important. I was getting ready to say, ladies, it's really important for our hormones, but it's important for everybody for detoxification. But if you are somebody who is dealing with hormone issues and estrogen dominant symptoms like heavy periods, PMS, breast tenderness, things like that, moodiness, you've got to support your liver and improve your gut health in order to help detoxify those excess hormones. And you can do that through eating raw carrots, supporting your liver with glutathione, and eating cruciferous vegetables and broccoli. Yeah, and there's a huge difference between Western medicine and a functional approach. I mean, we're talking two different things. And like you said, I'm not dogging Western medicine. I'm a licensed pharmacist. I came from that side, so I see and respect both sides. However, it's a different approach. So when you go to the doctor and you rattle off your symptoms, they are taking what you're saying, grouping the symptoms together, and throwing a label at it, which is your diagnosis. So I'm not saying that doesn't matter. I'm just saying that like that's the approach. And then with a diagnosis, it's usually you treat the symptoms, pill for an ill type mentality. And whether that approach is perfect for some people, that's what they're looking for, and that works for them. Great. Other people are tired of band-aiding their symptoms and really just managing symptoms. They want to get to underlying root cause. And that's the difference between functional medicine is we're running different types of labs. We're looking for things that Western medicine doesn't even consider to be an issue. If you go in and tell your doctor, I think I'm toxin overloaded or there's heavy metals, they're going to giggle. They don't like that's not something they were taught. That's not something that's looked at. And if I really wish in Western medicine that your OB was talking to your GI and your GI was talking to your psych and all these people were communicating because that's in my mind that's the approach that works is looking at the body as a whole, and that's what functional medicine does. It looks at it as a whole and wants to get to one underlying root cause so you can actually correct it instead of treating the symptoms. So two totally different things. Mhm. because I actually had a lot of guilt around this in the beginning. You know, I thought, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businesswoman. I need to like get up super early and get in that office before anybody else wakes up and get to work. And I was going to yoga. I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to yoga at 5:15. And by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was a zombie. My body hated it. It didn't go along with my natural rhythms. Now I get up at 7 when my kids get up. We get ready for school. We do the morning things. And then after I drop them off at school, I go straight to the gym. That's what works best for me. About an hour, hour and a half after I wake up, I'm in the gym. I work out for only 25 to 30 minutes because I don't like to work out for very long. And then, I leave and I go home and then that's when I start my day. But when I started that routine, I loved it. I loved it for my energy levels, but I still had that guilt around, well, I'm not getting to work till 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good for productivity. But then I realized I have to take care of my body. And to me, that means going to the gym. That's what works for me. That's one of the best ways that I get my dopamine for the day and I keep my sanity. I need it. And so for me to take care of my body first thing in the morning when it works for me, great. But it took me a ways to realize that 5:15 was not my ideal time in the morning to get going. Way too early for me. Am I frozen, Melanie? Can you hear me now? Yes. It has been wild with this energy. You probably can't hear me, but or not that.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. I tell you what, the powers that be. The powers that be. All right. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the schedule, this daily schedule, how I was working out, not first thing in the
Yes.
morning, but I finished my thought. We're all good.
Yeah. So just to finish that thought, working out is something that A is very important. B, if we can take on the mindset of I want to move my body and be strong, that has really
Mhm.
helped me. So it's not I want to lose weight or I want to do this, or it's like I want to be able to move my body and be strong. And now that I know about my hypermobility, I understand that I can't push myself the way that I used to push myself 5 or 10
Right.
years ago, you know? So it's like, all right, well, I have to be careful with how I move my body and whatnot. And like, I've even started seeing stuff come across my FYP about like sleeping tools for those of us with Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility to like keep things in place and to not have things fall asleep in the middle of the night and whatnot. You know, how many times do you wake up and your entire arm is pins and needles because you've been sleeping in this weird
You're like,
position?
where
So it's so important. Yeah,
right.
gosh.
I'm like, why? First of all, it's not comfortable for my wrist. I sleep like that, and it's not comfortable for my and I basically choke myself. Like, why do I do that? Why can't I just sleep with my hand
Yeah.
not here?
The claw. Yeah, the claw. It wouldn't be nice. I don't know. It would all just, it would be so fantastic. But like, you just want to move your body for a little bit. If you can't go to the gym, I don't like going to the gym. There's way too much energy there. It's not, and have to like worry about who's staring at you and being perceived and shit all the time. I'm not there for it. But get some weights at your house, take a WALK multiple times per week, figure out. I like to work out between 3 and 6 p.m. That's when it works best for me because then it's still enough time to like wind down and not be amped or super exhausted. And, I just don't do the really hardcore hit workouts or anything anymore. It just doesn't
Yeah.
work for me.
Yeah. When I shifted from like weight training, more low impact, I do try to do cardio and work that in too. And yoga's great, but I like feeling strong. So for me, lifting weights is what I'm into right now. And you know what? It's okay when that shifts because there was a while where I was all yoga all the time. Nobody else could tell me different. That's what I did. And now my interests have shifted and they'll shift again. So, and just going along with wherever you know, whatever gives me the dopamine hit.
Absolutely. So my final like official question before we hit the lightning round is when we know that entrepreneurship is
Yeah.
stressful. We know it, but having a job is stressful too. So, as a neurodivergent entrepreneur, how do you factor in self
Mm,
care so that we can avoid that or end that cycle of burnout?
yeah. So this is something I'm still learning, if I'm 100% honest. And I think I do better with the seasons. Because for me, I am a nature girl. I love to be outside, and so nature walks are my thing. And I'm in the Midwest. So when it's cold, I'm not, no, I will stay in my nice warm home. And so my mental health is typically a lot better in the summer when I can be out and about. So, but yeah, this is something I'm still working on. So just to put it out there and be realistic, but I do certain things every single day for myself. I love to work out, maybe 5 times a week, 4 times a week. I love to journal. I journal every day. I love to work with angel cards and then journal about the messages that I pull. I, like I said, love nature and walking. I think those are my main things, but I also really like hanging out with my friends and having real conversations. Those the friends, the friends that like fill your battery back up, like those friends. And so I really like to spend time with people that bring me life. So I'm getting better at it every
Yeah,
day and taking time out
absolutely.
for myself and being willing to tell my kids and my family, I need a minute. I'm feeling overstimulated. I'm going to go over here and take care of myself, and we're going to close the door, and you're going to give me some mean time. And so I've been better about holding up those boundaries and asking for what I need. And that's been really helpful.
Yeah, listen, as a psychic intuitive, I'll tell you what, I can read minds, but it takes a lot of battery power. So it's no longer my responsibility to know when somebody needs help. It's their responsibility to
Yes.
come to me and expect that I can help them because I've been filling my own
Hmm.
cup.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. So, are you ready for? Oh, wait. First of all, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you on all the socials and how they can work
Yeah,
with
so I
you.
love hanging out on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me both of those places at Kelly, Kelly .rebel whitecoat. And also my podcast. My podcast is really special to me. I have some really cool conversations with a lot of amazing people on that. And that is the Rebel Whitecoat.
Yeah, I've been on that podcast. Check it out. It's a good
Yes.
time. It
Yeah,
is a
thank
good
you.
time.
And also my website. You can find out more about me on my website, wildrootsgenetics.com.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready? 5 questions, lightning round. Don't overthink
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Just stream of
All right.
consciousness. What is your favorite social media
TikTok.
platform? Duh. What is the most recent rabbit hole you've gone down?
Oh, supporting adrenal health and fasting.
Oh, so are the adrenal mocktails any
I
good?
have not tried well, so I have not made any adrenal mocktails, but I have definitely experimented with different adrenal support supplements. So I'm kind of going down that pathway right now, and it's really interesting.
You know, I'm the supplement queen. Any supplements I may have heard of to
I
support your
love
adrenals?
daytime HPA. That's one of my favorites, and actually I keep it on my desk. It's right here. Daytime HPA. It's a beautiful blend. Holy basil, rhodiola, ashwagandha. Great for supporting your adrenals and keeping those cortisol levels balanced.
Excellent. I love rhodiola. Rhodiola has been a real game changer for me. Absolutely. All right. Number 3. What is your favorite emotional support show or movie? Like, what do you watch when you cannot take on any new emotional
Oh gosh,
challenges?
no judgment. I love trash reality TV. So Vanderpump Rules and Real Housewives. Wow.
Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, is Vanderpump not so
Yes.
wild right now? I mean, it is. I've watched it from the very beginning, so like, but this
Yes.
season has just gotten like every Wednesday. I'm like, when's it Wednesday? Like I just can't wait. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is your spirit animal on Vanderpump Rules?
I absolutely love how unhinged James is. He
Ah, I
He
love
makes me
James.
laugh so hard. And I
Yeah.
just appreciate that so much. And I just giggle at
Yeah.
him. He's just fantastic to me.
Yeah, he's great. I have to tell you, deep inside, like inner Melanie wants to be Lala.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I love my
That,
big hoops. I love the makeup look. I love all that. But I still, I'm a Taurus. I'm not a Scorpio. Like I want to be cool, but like the only reason that I am cool is because like I'm not cool. So it's like, and then everybody knows what you're getting with me. So yeah, I would love to walk that line, but it's just not there. But James, absolutely, I love him. I was actually a little disappointed by this most recent episode because I thought we were going to, like, see a lot more.
yeah. Well, I think next week is going to be wild. So,
Yeah, I just don't understand time anymore. So, if next week is the episode where she's screaming at him like, I don't care, then I'm gonna
I think
watch
it
it
is.
4 times.
I think it is.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I never liked that guy. He's just the worst. Both of the Toms, they can kick rocks and flip flops. They're the
Yep.
fucking worst. Okay, fourth question, two-parter. Have you consumed any water today?
Yes.
And do you want to share your emotional support cup with the audience?
Oh my gosh, yes. It is a giant.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? My favorite part about this, I need a new one. Look at the paint like coming off of it. But I just set my supplements on the top of this lid. There's like a nice groove in there. And I just like leave them there because it forces me to take my supplements, because if I don't, they're going to fall off. So it's another way that I trick myself into getting something done.
Yeah, just the tip. Just start. You just got to take a
Right.
few and then watch what happens. All right, last question. What is your current dopamine snack or meal?
Okay, this is funny. So I hopped on a TikTok trend, and I don't know if you've seen it, but lately it's been trending. It's little mini bell peppers and cucumbers. Now, this is way healthier than like my typical like dopamine snack. Like I'm more like I want some Oreos type thing, right? Or some cookies. But I will tell you, this freaking salad or whatever you want to call it, this concoction, it like my mouth's watering. It's so good. So it's bell peppers, cucumbers, ginger dressing, red pepper flake, and everything but the bagel seasoning. Have you seen that?
No, but those all sound
It's so
fantastic.
good. And I don't even like, I've never been a person who likes ginger, and all of a sudden I'm putting that shit on everything. So it's good. It's a nice crunchy snack too. So
I love ginger dressing. I am getting ready to branch out. I bought a couple cucumbers the other day, and of course now I'm going to have to use them or they're going to go bad. Never buy fresh produce without
I
a
know.
fucking plan. You'd think I'd learn by
No.
now. I'm thinking, because I know we're just like, oh, future me is going to be so healthy. But what I'm going to do, because I'm getting on this cottage cheese kick, however willingly or unwillingly, I'm going to cut the cucumbers in half. I'm going to scoop out the seeds, because the seeds is where the gas resides, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to scoop out the seeds, and then I'm going to put ricotta in there and some sort of like, I don't know. I don't typically use everything but the bagel seasoning because it gets a little too salty for me. But I'm going to put like some black sesame seeds on there, maybe some poppy seeds, maybe a little garlic. I'm going to go to town on that, and I'm going to document it for everybody, probably on my Instagram stories, because in my brain it sounds fantastic.
Let me know. I'll try any.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, but I'm
Absolutely.
I'm curious about this ginger dressing though, because when it went viral on TikTok, like I can't find that shit anywhere right about now. So that's the downside.
The one that's in, are you talking about the one that's in the fridge section by like the blue cheese and everything?
Everyone's buying
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Luckily, I've known about that dressing for a very long time, as my mom lived in Taiwan for a small portion of her life, and my old neighbor lived in, I forget what part, probably Japan or something like that. So they taught me about that shit a long time ago. Good, delicious stuff. I bet you can make it on your
Yeah,
own.
I could. And I actually just tried out. I believe it's the Bragg's brand, like the apple cider vinegar brand, that they make ginger dressing too. I just tried that this week because it's more of an olive oil based, so it's a little healthier. It's not as good. It's not as good, but it'll do the trick until I can get the other stuff again.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I want to thank you so much, Kelly, for being on the show today. I know everybody listening got such tremendous value from listening to us cackle on.
Yes. Of course. Thanks for having me. Truly appreciate you.
Absolutely. Everybody go follow her. And I love you all equally and for different reasons. And we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.